Hello, welcome back to Salty Sunshine. I hope everyone's having a good week. I'm doing a solo today. We're gearing up to do our book review on The Wedding People. We should have that out in the next few days. Um, Loved that book. Also, it's summertime. It's summer, it's officially summer. About a week or two ago, I was out. I walk my dog at 6:30 in the morning, and I can wear a little, sweatshirt or a little jacket and be fine. And the last week, I've been walking her just with a tank top and nothing else. And it's 6:30 in the morning. I get back around 7 and I'm sweating. It's hot. It's officially summer. I love hate this time of year because it's like relax time and, just hang out. But also, it's hurricane season coming and it's so hot you can't do anything but go to the pool. And I don't know. It gets old really quick. You can't walk your dog at noon. It's like you're dying. So, yeah, it's summertime. So get ready to see all the lemons and people parading around Europe. Speaking of Europe, Kim is over there. Kim Kardashian with her mom, Kris Jenner. And they went for her court date 9 years after she was robbed in Paris. I mean, where does the time go? 9 years. It's been 9 freaking years since we saw Kim talking about getting robbed in Paris. And I thought my initial thought back then, 9 years ago, and my thought still stands when she talks about it. I'm surprised she's never talked about the fact that she wasn't raped. RAPED. I know I can say that on here, but it's shocking to me that that's never been a thought, because that was my first thought. The minute I heard that she was robbed, I'm like, oh my God, what did they do to her? Because think about it, men are vile. And the first thing guys do is take advantage of a woman when possible, right? Especially if they're not good people, and those aren't good people. And she's an icon, a sex icon. She's Kim Kardashian. So you would think, that's the first thing they think of to do to her. And I feel as though if I were her, I would just thank my lucky stars that didn't happen to me, being the person that she is and the fame that comes with that. I wouldn't even care about the robbery. I would just thank the Lord that I wasn't violated. Honestly, that's always been my thought with this. I don't know if that makes sense to y'all, but that's what I think. I think, oh my God, I had, how many men were there? Like 6 or more or something, and they didn't sexually violate her? That's insane. Maybe they cared more about the money and they didn't want to be messy, which is great for her. But men are disgusting. I mean, this happens all the time. And I think she lucked out, and I'm surprised no one talks about it. I did think it was interesting that they went dressed like they were going to the Met Gala. I mean, I don't get it. I mean, they're in Paris. Can't they just wear like a regular suit? She's all done up, and she's wearing like millions of dollars in jewelry. Is that supposed to show them she has more jewelry? I wouldn't do that. I don't know. What do you guys think? I would not wear all that jewelry. I would just dress normal, classy, like I'm going to court. I don't know what that getup was about. I thought that was odd. But yeah, and then after their court, they're now still on the trip and celebrating Lauren Sanchez, Jeff Bezos' fiance, her bachelorette party. So today I saw a photo. They were on a big yacht boat thing and having a party, and I guess it was a drone flying over them, and you can see them on the boat, which is so weird. It's like these stalking laws, they have to do something about the stalking. I don't agree that they should be able to get so close to celebrities and invade their privacy like that. That's so annoying. But yeah, and then Kim has a new show coming out. It's called All's Fair. It's going to be on Hulu. I think it comes out in the fall. And I have so many thoughts. So, am I a Kim hater? No, I don't hate any celebrity. When I have my opinions, they're literally strictly opinions. I am not psychotic, and I'm not like team anybody. And I think all of that is very odd. The stalkery stuff, acting like people, like, no, these are just regular thoughts. I could change my mind, whatever. But Am I a fan of Kim? Not necessarily. I think she's cheesy. I think she's everything that's wrong with a lot of people. It's like a mental illness with the whole vanity thing and the obsessiveness over her body and her face. I think all that. I don't think it's healthy. Um, I don't take it personal though, so it's not like I have ill will towards her. I just think she's cheesy. I think she's a very jealous, vain person. That's what I think of her. I think she had a third and fourth kid because she wanted more kids than Courtney. Courtney had three. I just feel like she's always in competition with everyone. I think she's very shallow and she's very insecure. And those are just my instinctual thoughts. They could be incorrect. I don't know her, but that's what I get from her. And with this show, I think she's executive producer. I saw her in American Horror Story. I thought she did fine. I didn't think she did poorly at all. I think it was okay. I didn't love the show itself, but I thought she did a fine job. I'd even border slash good, but it's a weird show, right? So her Botox and her all that makeup and the body, it kind of went with the American Horror Story because it's a weird looking show. So she didn't stand out like a sore thumb. But the trailer and the photos of this new show called All's Fair, she stands out like a sore thumb in my opinion. I think it was a poor choice on her part since she is executive producer to make herself quote unquote lead actress. She's not an actress. She's trying to become one. So maybe humble yourself and like put your ass in the back where you belong. She's putting herself in front of Glenn Close, Naomi Watts, Kesey or whatever her name is. I forgot. I forgot the other people on there, their names. But these are real actresses, like iconic actresses. And she's putting herself in front of them, which I think is such a bad move. And also, it doesn't make sense. And then she's also like half naked. Everyone else is dressed normal, and she's again sticking out like a sore thumb, being cheesy. She didn't relax her Botox. She won't stop with the boobs in your face and the slit up her ass. Like it's a show about lawyers, and they're hardcore and like they protect women, I guess, in divorces or whatever. But I don't know. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I'm gonna watch it. I'm good at being unbiased. And if she's great in it and it's a great show, I will say that. And but just the trailer, that's what it's giving me. It's giving me cheesy. It wasn't something like sometimes you see a trailer and you're like, "Oh, I got to see that." I don't feel that with this whatsoever. I'm not buying what they're selling. And I don't know, we'll see. But I think it was a bad choice for her to put herself in front of all those amazing actresses. Like, you're not an actress, even though now you're maybe taking classes, trying to be, but they're, established actresses, and that was a bad move. And your whole style, she's not diving into the character. She's being Kim Kardashian on the show. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Like, she didn't, actresses, you have to, transform into the role, and she's just being herself. I feel that's what I got from it. So we'll see about that. I'll circle back when it comes out. I've seen so many things. I'm like content overload. There's so much like out and coming out. So I just got a Hulu trial for 30 days because of the Mormon Wives. No, what is it? The Real Lives of Mormon. Why I can the title's so long of that stupid show. I never remember the name of the show. So the Mormon Wives season 2, it just came out. The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Holy shit, I couldn't remember the name. That's a horrible name for a show because I can never remember it. So The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives just dropped on the 15th, like yesterday. And so I did my Hulu 30 days so I can binge watch that. And then whatever else I'm missing on there. I'm going to start. I haven't started, but there's already outside drama going on right now. Like, the girls are divided. Apparently Taylor, Jesse, and I don't know, who was it? Whitney? Someone else are like on one. And then so Demi and Jesse are at war. Jesse says she'll never be friends with Demi again after the season. I'm sure it's a great season. Like, the show's really good. And then one of the girls that was involved in the Mom Talk swinger stuff, I think she's on the show now. this second season. So that's going to be good to watch, and we'll get some more context of what happened. Because it's interesting, because that show had all this drama regarding Taylor and the swinging. And so when the show dropped, everyone thought these girls were involved with that. None of those girls had anything to do with that. It was only Taylor. So now it's interesting to have a girl that had to do with that on the show on the second season. So I'm going to watch that over the weekend, and I'll circle back next week. And then Brianna will have watched it too, and we'll give our thoughts. Love Island USA is coming out June 3rd, and Sex and the City May 29th, which I'm very excited about. I've been watching Your Friends and Neighbors on Apple with John Hamm and Amanda P. I really like the show. It's good. I like it. It's good. It's infuriating though, because I don't know if you guys have watched it, but John Hamm's character loses his job, and he's like a big finance market guy or whatever, equities. And so, I mean, he obviously still has some money because he made so much money, even though he's divorced. But why couldn't he just continue to? I mean, you're going to tell me the guy doesn't have like a 401k or stocks he can sell or and saving. Like, why is he going into homes and stealing stuff and risking going to jail? Like, that's kind of annoying in my opinion. But obviously, that's what the show's about, so he has to do it. But I think it's kind of a dumb move. But it's a good show. If you haven't watched it, I recommend that. And the Judd family. Oh my God. Ashley Judd and her mom Winona and all that. Or her sister, I forgot. There's a lot of different names there. It's on Lifetime. And I think it's like two episodes or something. I need to find a way to watch that. I hope it's on YouTube or something, because I love that family and I think it's a really good, juicy story. It's all about like her mom and what her mom went through and what she went through growing up, and the difference between when our parents were growing up and today. Like, everyone's more open and candid about things, and back then they weren't. So I need to watch that. So hopefully by next time I will have found a way to get, because I hate all these streaming services. Lifetime is not part of regular, YouTube TV or this or that. It's like on its own, and I don't have that. So anyways, and you can't even purchase it alone. Like, you have to be part of whatever streaming network has Lifetime. And I don't know what that is, but I'm not part of it. I know I'm not part of it. Breaking news. Tommy Lee and his wife, Brittany, she's an influencer, has a podcast. And you know who Tommy Lee is, a Motley Crue. They were married for 6 years, and they just announced they're getting divorced. I'm a little shocked. I thought they're just, I never saw them breaking up. Like, I never saw them like problematic or anything like that. So I think it probably has to do with, I think age is a big deal. I know age is a number. It's not just a number. It's so many other things. And I stand by that. I will die by that. Age matters. The kind of music you listen to, what you think is funny, what you relate to, it matters. And it matters in when, as it pertains to getting along with your partner. I think it's a huge freaking deal. So she's 38, he's 62. That's too much. That's too much of an age gap, in my opinion. I don't think you should date anyone that's more than a decade, maybe 12 years. I mean, give or take 12, 13 years. But even that could be problematic, but no more than that, because it just makes a difference. But we don't know why they broke up. They haven't said anything other than the fact that they're separating. But he posted they both posted cryptic messages, and he said, who's been catfished? And then she wrote, what is done in the dark always comes to light. So that's all they said about that. So we won't know until they say something. He's been married 4 times, Tommy, and she's been married once. So he's 62. I mean, and he's a rough 62. He's lived some years with that rock star lifestyle. So he's weathered. He's weathered. He should just stay single. Everyone's like, oh my God, get back with Pam. I don't see that happening. That would be crazy if you got back with Pam. It would be kind of cute if you did, actually, because she's like such a gem, and they were so in love back then. And I personally think if you watch like the Pam and Tommy show and their life, I do think, in other words, they should have never broken up. Like, it was kind of like outside of it was outside of their control why they broke up. Like, you know, when life gets in the way and you're young and you haven't learned the lessons. Like, but they didn't break up because they weren't in love. They broke up because of the chaoticness of their life and like the miscarriage or whatever. So, oh, and the sex tape, hello. But, and I'm sure his drinking and whatever, the lifestyle. But I do think they're a match. So I don't think Pam would get back with him just because to protect her peace or whatever. And it's been so long, but who knows, right? That would be interesting. Last week, when I was talking with Brie on the pod, I mentioned that Bethenny Frankel moved from New York to Miami, and she claims it's because she wanted to change and her daughter's going to go to school here at UM. But I mentioned to Brianna that I thought there was more to the story, and I think that not because of the move, but because of how much she posts online, how much she posts on TikTok. I swear, I've never seen anyone post so much. She posts every thought, every move, every chip bag she opens, everything. Like she posts so much. And as someone that posts, I post for myself and I post for the podcast and I post obviously personally, not that much because I don't have time, but and then for my dog has an account, so it is a lot, and I don't even post that much. I might post once or twice a day depending. Sometimes I don't post at all, but it is a lot of work, especially when you're posting across so many platforms, and there isn't a thing that you can just post once and it goes to everything. And if there is, I probably wouldn't use it because every platform is different, and I don't know, it's different. I don't think it's easy to do it a one shot, so you have to do it at everything, and it takes forever. Even if it's a few minutes, it's like it just feels like a whole day's work. So anyway, she posts so much, and I was saying like there has to be, I feel like she is lonely and doesn't have that many friends. And even if she does have like a group of friends, she probably doesn't see them that much. And sometimes, it depends if they're married, if they have kids, like they don't have all this time to really hang out and really like talk and be consistent with it. So I feel like she's lonely, and when she sees the reception of people online, she's using that as her social like flow. And that's what my instinct tells me. And then she comes out afterwards and she's like, "Well, there's more to the story. The reason she's moving to Florida or Miami is because she's very lonely." So my prediction was correct, or my assessment, should I say. I said she was lonely because of the amount she was posting on social. And she says she's lonely and that's why she's moving to Miami, that she was very isolated um, in New York. And she was just like, ever since COVID, she's just like kept herself in a hole, and she's very depressed. Like it's just like not healthy. And so in Miami, she feels she can walk outside more. She can go play paddleball. She can go, like, there's always something to do. So she feels more alive, and it will be good for her mental health here in Miami. So that's what she said. I called it, so that was exciting for me. um, Kylie Jenner and Timothy, her boyfriend, Chalamet or whatever, they were spotted at the Knicks game. And when I saw a photo of them up close, I just have to say, Kylie is like in person airbrushed, right? Like she has everything done from head to toe. Every follicle in her head and everything down to her toe is probably modified in some way, right? It's just worked on. So she looks like an Instagram filter, probably in person, in real life. And he looks like a pimply high schooler, a scrawny, like a regular guy. He looks like a regular guy. His teeth are kind of yellow. He has some pimples. His hair's disheveled. Like he just looks like Can't Buy Me Love type of thing. Patrick Dempsey. That's what he looks like. Patrick Dempsey in Can't Buy Me Love, the movie. That's what Timothy Chalamet looks like, or whatever his last name. I don't know what his last name is. And her next to him in the videos and photos, I think it's a huge contrast. Like you see her face filtered face, her fake teeth and the whiteness and the clear skin and the big lips and the blah 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 and the fake lashes and the eyebrows and the hair, and he's looking like Can't Buy Me Love status over here. I think it looks so weird. It's just weird. I wish he needs to like step it up, or she needs to like pull it back for them to like look cohesive. So that's just funny to me. I'm surprised they're still together. I assume if they continue and they're serious, she's gonna have his child at some point. Because she's still young enough, obviously. She's super young, but even though she looks so much older because of all the work, but I want to see. I mean, I didn't think they would last this long, so they look like they're pretty serious. Um, Hannah and Paige, Paige DeSorbo, Hannah Berner from Giggly Squad, they have their new YouTube series. It's called Hannah and Paige Try New Things. So I think there's like 2 episodes right now. There might be 3. The last time I checked, there were only 2. So it's not a lot to catch up on if you want to watch. I think they're pretty short, like 25 minutes, maybe 35. I don't remember, but they're not very long. So it's short and quick. If you want something in the background that's chill, like a reality show, it's kind of the same vibe as far as like, those shows that you don't have to really pay attention, but it's on in the background if you want to take a look or whatever. Um, it's okay. I saw the first episode. I mean, it's fine. There's like 200,000 views. Like, obviously, it's very popular. So I'm sure their fans really love it. But the first episode is Hannah and Paige try being a witch or something. I don't like that term, like witch and all that. I'm not a fan of personally. I'm sure everyone else doesn't care, but they go to a psychic in Salem, which is fun, but I don't like the whole witch thing. Like, I wish they would have just said psychic or stuff like that, because like it makes it feel a little weird. But um yeah, it's I'm not like, oh my god, you have to watch it, it's so good. No, I don't feel that way, but it's fine. If you have nothing else to watch and you enjoy them, put it on. It's entertaining, but I wouldn't like I'm like on so much content overload. I'm not going to make time to watch it is my point. But it is cute. It's fine. They're funny together, and if you want to watch it, it's cute and short and sweet. So the Menendez brothers finally got resentenced. So they got resentenced for 50 years to life, which apparently in the legal world gives them an opportunity to get parole. So I didn't think this was going to happen. I think they have a hearing June 13. So on June 13, we'll see the next steps if they're going to be granted like parole, which is crazy if they came out in the real world. Oh my gosh, that would be such a circus. So stay tuned, June 13. The Diddy case. I don't even know what to say about that. I don't even want to talk about it just because it's so crazy what's going on. First of all, there's a whole Diddy side, not Diddy's side. I don't think anyone's on Diddy's side, but I think people are not seeing, some people, not all people. There's people that see Cassie as a complete victim 100% from start to finish. And then there's people in the middle. They're like, well, in other words, she's not looking great in this trial only because they're bringing out so many text messages and evidence, and even things she's saying today in the courtroom allude to the fact that she was a willing participant. And yes, I know everyone will say, well, you can't be willing if you're being abused and all that. But there's all different perspectives and thoughts. I'm just saying what's out there. I'm not saying what I think. I don't even know what I think, to be honest with you. I don't like saying, I can say my thoughts, but I don't like acting like for certain it's this or for certain it's that. We don't know these people. We weren't there. We're not in their psyche. I just like saying opinions that are loose from what I see right now, and then maybe I see something else in an hour and it changes. I just don't like being very like, this is how it is. I think there's a lot of different ways it could be. I think for certain, Diddy is an evil monster, gross, nasty guy. I've always thought that about Diddy, and I'll tell you why. Even before any of this came out, and I had no idea he was a sick F the way he is, but the fact that all his social media, I don't trust people that constantly talk about how they're favored, how they're God's favorite, how they're favored, how they're God, Jesus, God, Jesus, God. I don't mind when people talk about it in a normal way, like just, they had an experience or God will help me through this. But like, if it's in every sentence you use for everything, I don't trust people like that, because it's like, why are you so obsessive over this? Like, why do you think you're special? Like, you're not. And that to me was a huge red flag, always from Diddy. Always, always, always. When every single thing he said was so, like, he was part of like the 1% in heaven type of thing. It was just like weird. So that always gave me a bad vibe. And so Diddy has always been like someone I never trusted. And so I'm not surprised with, I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised. Now, Cassie, she was 19, I think, around when she either met him or started with him. He was like 37, 38. So again, huge age difference. I never trust that. And again, she's under 24, which again, to me is a child, like big time. So she was enamored with him. She completely fell in love with this guy. She admits it to this day on stage that she still says she loves him. She says she has a love for him. She doesn't hate him. I think she's like she's kind of trauma bonded, and I don't know, I don't even know what I think. I think she was actually, naively that innocent love in the beginning. And I think she was a willing participant as much as you can be at that age. We do such stupid things when we're young. We don't know what we're doing. We date guys we would never date if our head was like fully developed. We have babies with kids we would never even look at, 10 years later. I mean, we do stupid things. It's part of growing up. And her stupid thing was thinking she could be the quote unquote cool girl that would have freak offs and show her man how hot she is. And I'm sure she was super insecure because even though she's gorgeous at that age, you don't really know how gorgeous you are. And he had the ex-wives and the baby mamas and the ex this and that. Well, not ex-wives. I don't think he's been married. But all those women around him. So she's like, I'm going to show you I'm so much hotter and I'm so much sexier and I'm so much into this and I could be this and I'm so much cooler. So I think not most, because I would never have done that at that age. And I think we've all been in dysfunction. We've all been with that guy that we do things. We're like, look back. We're like, how did I do that? Oh my gosh. So we've all been there. We've all been with a guy that talked to us bad and we stayed and too long or whatever. But I do think there's a line. And I don't know where her childhood is. I don't know where her psyche is. I don't know what anything is. But I personally would never like allow any of that sex stuff, but she comes from a different place that she allowed it, and then it was a slippery slope from there. I think she was a willing participant, even though he's the monster, no doubt. But I think there's personalities involved and what you're willing to do. And I mean, you're still responsible, right? You're still an adult, quote unquote, when you're 18 and over. So the choices you make have consequences. And unfortunately, her choices hurt her and were not great. I mean, let's be real. Um, she needs to take responsibility, not as far as like the abuse, but as far as like her choices, to know that she was part of the choice that she made. So I see that part. But again, that has not, like, anything I say about what I see about her, it has nothing to do with how gross he is. Like his grossness stays at the level of grossness it is. Um, but it's interesting because all the things that are coming out, which I follow this lawyer on TikTok, and she breaks it down really well every day. She's like does 4 parts about what the testimony was. And apparently when she at the end, so she broke up with him like maybe twice or something, or maybe even more, but she would always go back, right? So that's kind of like the clues that they're saying, if you were so scared and you really really wanted to get away, why would you go back? Even though you don't have kids, you don't live, like, she had her own place, she had her own apartment that he paid for, all this stuff. And so one of the breakups, like the final one, she was already dating the trainer, which is now her husband, that Diddy hired for her. And I think his name is Alex Fine or something. And she was with Diddy and having sex with Diddy, and she FaceTimed her new boyfriend while she was with Diddy. So that is questionable. It's almost like she didn't really like the new guy too much at the beginning, and then she was still hooked on Diddy. I don't know. It's a lot of interesting things that are coming out now. Like there's all this messages about her saying how hot she is for him and she can't wait for the freak off and she's going to go buy product. And it's interesting too that now they're saying, can she be indicted? Which I'm sure her testimony comes with some sort of, what do you call that? Immunity, because she's willingly showing proof that she helped him coordinate. Like, she would go on Craigslist and look for the people and the sex workers and all this stuff. So that's her working with Diddy to form these freak offs, right? So I think she probably has immunity. If not, they would be able to like charge her too, because the whole sex trafficking part of this case, from what I hear, I'm getting all my information from the lawyer, is that when you think sex, at least for me, when I think sex trafficking, you think of just picking up people on the street and like kidnapping them and like drugging them and making them do stuff. And this is more, in this case, sex trafficking in this case means I called, Jason from Las Vegas, but I'm in New York, and I'm flying Jason in to come to our freak off and paying him. That is a little different than what in my mind is sex trafficking, but I didn't, I don't know exactly what it is, but that's what I think of when I think of sex trafficking. But in this case, sex trafficking literally just means bringing people over state lines and paying them to do sex acts, which it's not the same as like grabbing people against their will and drugging them and making them do sex acts. So this is more about paying prostitutes basically and flying them over state lines, and they call that sex trafficking. So it's a little less scandalous than at least what I thought it was going to be. I thought he was like just drugging unwilling people and making them do stuff, but he's paying willing participants to do stuff. So I thought it cleared up for me, at least. I didn't know that was the case. Yeah, there's just so much, but it is crazy. It's crazy. And then, I don't know. I feel like he's on trial for sex trafficking. So I guess they're trying to paint a story of his character, but it just seems like Cassie versus her asshole ex-boyfriend, like type of thing. So it just seems a little cheesy. I don't know if it's helping or hurting the case, to be honest. I can't imagine a world where he gets off scot-free, but I think anything can happen, right? But since the feds did it, they usually don't lose, I hear. So hopefully, I don't know. And then his kids showing up for trial, and the testimony so gross, the kids have to get up and leave. Like, why are your kids there? You know what they're talking about. I feel like, ew, why are your kids there? They don't need to hear any of this. Even though they'll hear it later, but they don't need to be there to hear it. And then she also admitted that she's working, it's pending, but she's working on a settlement of $10 million from the hotel, of the Hotel Intercontinental that had the tape of him beating her in the hallway. They're going to pay her too. So it's all very interesting. I don't know how all that works, but I don't know. So also the Karen Reed trial is going on. I'm not following that. I just see clips on it. I said it from the beginning, and I don't think there's anything they can show that will ever really prove what happened that night. I think it's one of those cases that we just will never know. It could be her. It could be the neighbor. Who knows? He could have fallen and hit himself. Like, who knows? There's no proof, and it's just going round and round, and it's up in the air, and there's no one's ever going to know unless she admits it, which she won't do. I think that case, that's why I'm not following, and I'm not very interested, because there's nothing they can say, because there's no proof. It's one of those cases that there's no proof. So we'll see what happens with that. That would be crazy if she went to jail, though, because we'll never know if she actually did anything. Speaking of, I did see that documentary, Deadly American Marriage, on Netflix, and it's a true story about this man. I think he's from Ireland, and he had 2 kids, and his wife died of like an asthma attack or something. So he was a widow. And so he hired this au pair, the babysitter, and she was from, I don't know, Kentucky or something, or Tennessee. And he flew her to Ireland to live with them to take care of the kids. And of course, being a 40-something-year-old man, he gets with a 20-something. It's like, it's the same old story over and over and over. And then these people act like they don't understand why it doesn't work out. Like, these age gap relationships do not work out. I don't understand why no one understands that. But anyways, he gets with a young, naive au pair. He gets married with her. They don't have any children. He has the 2 children. They move back to the States, I guess for her hometown or something. And everything seems fine until apparently he was verbally abusive, physically abusive. And then one day, her parents are in the basement, like staying over, and her dad wakes up and hears screaming and fighting, and he goes upstairs, and apparently he's being abusive to her, the wife. And the wife, like, they beat him with a bat, and like they completely destroy the guy and kill him. So that's the story. And so they're trying to figure out, they're saying he's abusive, and other people are saying that she did that on purpose for life insurance and whatnot. So we, again, another stuff that we don't know. The dad and the daughter, the wife, served time in jail, but then they appealed. They went back to court, and then they still were found guilty again. And but they were granted time served. So now they only spent a few months and they're out of jail. But apparently the stepmom was saying that she feels really sad because the kids believe that she killed their dad and that she was a horrible person. And she's like, I raised those kids like they were my own because they were like toddlers, and I love them, and they're never going to know the truth. So I wonder, again, we'll never know the truth. And I mean, why would the father risk, being 70 or whatever and going to jail for the rest of his life? Like, what was the purpose? It's hard to believe. This is just like Karen Reed's case. I don't know it's true. And these documentaries, if you ever think about a tragedy that's happened in your own life, think about like a Netflix crew coming and trying to just talking to people, and how much wrong information and how skewed the perception can be. These documentaries, they could be completely wrong. Because, think about your own situation. If you've been in an altercation with your husband, your boyfriend, or anything's happened in your life, and for God forbid something like went left and the person dies somehow, and you didn't kill the person, but it looks like you could have, and the truth, and then they come and talk to your friends and family, and your friends and family don't know anything about anything, and then they make it look, and it could be so skewed. So these documentaries, you have to take them with a grain of salt, because it could be completely wrong. So I do that. I look at it, I'm like, how much do they really know? I don't know. Like, you're talking to your sister that lives in another state that doesn't know anything about your dynamic. So I don't know. It's one of those things. Those kind of cases freak me out because it's scary to be, convicted of something you didn't do, and there's no way of proving it because idiots around you have an opinion and they don't know anything about your life. So I always think of that. Tom Cruise and Ana de Armas are reportedly dating, and I thought this was so funny because she's obviously younger than him, and it's not going to work out because age gaps to me don't. And I always say to women that date older men, but and when I say older, I mean like 2+ decades, like older. I always say, don't you ever think to yourself, like, I don't know, Nick Viall and his wife Natalie, she's freaking 26. She's old. She's younger than my daughter. Like, that's so gross to me. And it just makes me think. So Nick is like my age. Like, I would never date a 26-year-old man. Like, ill. So he's like 48 and she's 26. Ridiculous, right? So I always would say to a girl that the guy you're married to, you, Natalie, when you're 45, if you were 45 today, he wouldn't date you. Doesn't that bother you? Like, I think of that. If I'm with a guy that's 48 and I'm 25, if today we were the same age or I was 5 years younger than him, he wouldn't look at me twice because I'm not a little kid. Does that make sense, what I'm saying? Like, girls need to stop and think, you only like me because my skin's young and my ass is tight and I'm young and malleable. You don't like me 15 years from me. Does that make sense? Like, it's kind of so transparent. Guys that are almost 50 dating women in their 20s, there's something wrong. You have nothing in common. You can even hear it on their podcast when she's saying period, and they're like children, and he's like, you guys are a bunch of children. Yeah, they are. Compared to you, they are a bunch of children. And they have you saying stupid terms like period, and you look like a moron and you're almost 50. So, and I'm not trying to clown on them. I hope they last forever. And I know they love their family, beautiful kid, all that. I like the podcast. I'm just saying, I'm using them as an example because there's so many. But any woman that is in their 20s or 30s dating someone that's 25 years older than you or 30 years older than you, the man you're with would not look at you. You're saying you, 10 years from now, 15 years from now? Think about that. They wouldn't be with the older version of you. That's creepy to me. Anyways, I digress. Khloe Kardashian has a new show called Calabasas Behind the Gates. I don't know. We'll see, right? I'm gonna have to like get another free trial or something for Hulu because I don't know when that comes out, but I don't know if it's worth it. But yeah, if I can watch it, I will. I just feel the Kardashians, I used to love their show when they first came out because they were real. They actually were real. They fought, they didn't care, they acted like the cameras weren't around, and that's why the show was so good. But now they're very mindful of it. They don't overshare. They do a bunch of pranks to fill up the show and a bunch of ads with their products, and I'm not really into it. Elizabeth Hurley and Billy Ray Cyrus dating. I will never be okay with this. Apparently they're super in love, according to what she said. They met on a show they did or something, and she's very comfortable with him. She's very happy. I love Elizabeth Hurley, even though her relationship with her son for that movie she did was odd. He was directing her in a sex scene. So that was weird, but apparently she's really happy. They just visually, it's eerie to look at because they're so different. I mean, I guess they're like Blake Shelton and Gwyneth, what's her name? You know who I'm talking about. Gwen Stefani. Blake Shelton, Gwen Stefani, it's giving that. They're so opposite. It's like funny to look at. But we'll see. Maybe they work. I mean, they're both age appropriate, which I love. And they have a lot of life. They've lived a lot of life. They learned a lot of lessons. So guess what? They probably will work out because they're both evolved and they've done some work on themselves and they're age appropriate. So there's that. Anyways, I think that's all I have. The Prince Harry, him and his dad not wanting to reconcile with him. Are we surprised? What did he think was going to happen? He disgraced their family's name. Like, he didn't just say one thing. He wrote a book. He went on Oprah. He did a show. Like, he's done it. He's overdone it. And now he wants to reconcile. Because he went to court for forced security when he visits the UK and he lost. He lost his appeal. And now he wants to reconcile with his dad. And his dad's like, no, I'm not interested. And his brother probably is not interested either. Yes, it's sad, but you made a choice. Choices matter. You're free to make choices, but they come with consequences. And you can't just shit on your family, make them look like a racist piece of shit family and be like, okay, let's get over that. No. I'm not surprised. And, he wants security. He should ask Oprah to pay for it because Oprah was on board with making his family look like shit. So why doesn't he ask his rich friends to give him security money? Although they have a lot of money. They had like everything they've done has a huge paycheck attached to it. So I don't understand why he acts like he's so broke. Or maybe he is, but I don't know why he would be because he's made a lot of money. So anyways, that's all I have. And we'll see you next time.